Okay, welcome back to our second session of today's symposium. So our guest speaker, as you can see, they are ready on stage already. So I'm just going to give a brief introduction of this our special guest. So we have here Akiko Miki-san. Akiko Miki-san. Sorry, you go first as you are the curator. So we have the curator. She's one of our curatorial team. She's not only our curator, but she's also curator and international artistic director of Benesi Art Site Naoshima. And then here we have three of our artists who work is showing at BACC. So after this, you can go and explore and see. So now I will give the stage to our curator. Please enjoy the talk.
Well, thank you very much. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm sure that you are getting a little bit tired after this, tremendous, well-organized tours of, parties and visiting different sites. Well, contrary to the one that David and Adele has done, it was more like a conversation between two, but we have actually 5 artists, so it is rather artist talk. So each one of them will be speaking about their works and then also how they have interpreted this, the theme of Nurture Gaia. And Bangkok Art Biennial kindly prepared simultaneous translation Japanese. So therefore, part 1 with us, we will be speaking in Japanese. So please be prepared with your microphone for the translation. And the second part will be in English with 3 other artists and groups. So from now on, I'm sorry, I will be speaking in Japanese. So, ではすいません、日本語にスイッチをさせていただきます。皆さん大丈夫ですか？ Can you hear the translation? Is it working well? Okay. でこのナーチャーガイアっていうテーマなんですが、昨日も少し同じようなことを言ったんですけども、ものすごくやっぱり広いいろんな解釈が可能なものだと思います。で、ある意味ですね、古くて新しいというか、過去と現在と未来をつなげてくれるようなものなのかなというふうに感じてます。でなので、アピナンさんがナーチャーガイアという、テーマを、提案されて、でそれに対して、私たちはですね、それがどういう意味なのかっていうことをですね、問うと、考えると、で自分たちで、いろんな解釈をして、提案しようという話になりました。なので、私自身はですね、どちらかというとガイアの、リプレゼンテーション、ガイア自体の表彰よりもですね、その前にこのナーチャーっていう動詞がついている、そこがこうくっついているところが非常に面白いなというふうに思いました。特にそのことによって意識だったりとか行動のですね、変革みたいなものをこう提起しているのではないかということに興味を持って、主に3つの方向性で考えようとしました。で1つがですね、自然との共存がですね、いろんな分野で今叫ばれているんですけれども、自然との関係性をもとに作品制作の可能性を探求する方向性、特にですね、自然とともに作品を作る方向性と言えるかもしれません。でその意味で、秋猪俣さん、そして山下小林さん、そしてこの後のパート2に出てもらう、パンデガ、バグスパンデガと、ケイマズ、この2人なんかもそこに少し関係してくるかなというふうに思います。そして2つ目の方向性として、自然をですね、育むことの大切さっていう、これ自体はですね、実は古来から昔から、人類はですね、生きる術として、知っていたものだと思うんですね。でそれらが、各地の神話とか信仰とかに残っていると思います。なのでそうしたその古来の知恵に改めて光を当てて現代に再生しようとするような関心、こういう活動をやっているような作家ということで、今回有馬優味さんを、提案しました。そして3つ目として このナーチャーガイアっていう言葉の中に、私はある種のですね、ケアリング、ケアをすること、そしてエンブレイスすること、そうしたある種の態度のようなものがこの言葉の中に含まれているのではないかと、思いました。なので、そういう考え方のもとに、アマンダ・ヘンであるとか、バグスと、K さんたちの作品もですね、ここにつながってくるんではないかということで、今日ですね、この人たちに、それぞれ話を、していただきたいと思います。でまずはですね、AKI INOMATAさんです。でAKIさんなんですが、彼女の作品っていうのは作るという行為がですね、人間だけのものではないということに着目してさまざまな生物とですね共同作業っていう、そういうことで作品を制作している、人です。なので、動物と人間の関係、そしてそこから生まれる思いがけない気づきとか想像の可能性っていうことをですね探求している、作家だと思います。それではまず、AKI INOMATAさんの方に、作品についてちょっとお話しいただこうと思います。よろしくお願いします。
サワディーカー、チャンチュ、AKI INOMATA. Thank you so much for coming, and I'm very honored to be here because I am here 6 years ago and I participated in Thailand Biennale this 2018 one, so I'm very happy to be here. I can come back here. I'm very happy. So, すみません、日本語で言います、クラビ2018年の時以来6年ぶりに帰ってこられてとても嬉しく思っています。この時はビーバーがかじった木を石の石彫に置き換えて、池の周りに配置した作品を展示させていただきました。でこの時ぶりなんですけれど、本当にとても皆さんにお会いできて嬉しく思っています。で私は先ほどご紹介いただいた通り、いろんな生き物とのコラボレーションというのをやっています。例えばこちらはミノムシであったりとか、あとこれは私の髪の毛で犬の服を作って犬の毛で私の服を作るという作品です。でこちらはですね、絶滅した馬なんですけれど、その馬とですね、出会うことは本当はできないんですけれど、馬をこう骨格標本のレプリカとそれにまとわせた氷によって、ちょっとこう蘇らせるようなイメージで作ったストップモーションアニメーションです。12枚の写真からできています。で、これは最新作です。ちょっとこれだけ生き物とのコラボレーションではないんですが、昨日の空を思い出すという作品で昨日の空模様をグラスの中に再現しています。ミルクと水でできていて実際飲むことができるというポエティックな作品だと思います。すごくエフェメラルなんですけれど、毎日昨日の空をこのグラスの中に作り続けていくという作品です。今回はですね BACC でこのようなインスタレーションをしているのでぜひ見ていただきたいんですが、3つのプロジェクトを、紹介しているのでそちらをご紹介させてください。まず1つ目が、Why Not Hand Over Shelter to Hermit Crabs という作品です。ヤドカリに宿を渡してみる。このヤドカリというのがですね、引っ越しをするという習性があるので、私が作ったトーランスペアレントな貝殻をヤドカリにあげて、ヤドカリが気に入れば引っ越しをしていくという作品です。でこのヤドカリはこうちょっとずつ大きくなるんですけど、殻の部分は大きくならないので新しい殻を探す必要がある。そこで私がいろいろな殻を作って与えています。でいろんな、種類の実はヤドカリがいるので何タイプかこれあるんですけれど、こちらは今アイト・ベンハドゥという都市の宿を背負っていますが、いろんな各地の都市をモチーフにした宿を背負っています。でこの、殻から殻へと引っ越しをする様子というのを見ていただくことができる。でそれはまるで私たちが、こう移住するであったりとか国籍を変える、もしくはアイデンティティが変わりうるといったことをテーマにしています。でもともと2009年ノーマンズランド展が初めなんですけれど、この時に、ローマンズランドがあったフランス大使館というのが、移転によりフランス領だった。でも日本に戻された。で日本からフランスに60年後にまた戻される。そのフランスとジャパンというか、その日本とフランスをこう行ったり来たりしている、領土という問題が、このヤドカリに投影されていて、ヤドカリに パリとフランスの宿を渡して引っ越しを繰り返してもらうというのが最初の出発点でした。でその後もいろいろな各地の都市をどんどん引っ越ししていって、こういろんな都市へ移り住むヤドカリというのをずっと制作続けています。でこちらはですねニューヨークで実際に展覧会で見ていただけたりするものもあるので、ざっと紹介しますが、これはオランダの風車、ライヒスタークという国会議事堂ベルリン、天壇中国、アイトベンハドゥモロッコ、バンコクのお寺ですね、サントリーニギリシャ、グアヤケルエクアドル、これは五号庵という日本の昔の僧が住んでいた、いおりなんですけど、ハーミットというのにちなんで作っています。でこちらは東京タワーだったりハイウェイだったり、都庁だったりが見られると思います。でこちらをですね、引っ越しをするというのがこの作品なんですけど、これが最初のパリと東京だったという感じです。ちょっとだけプロセスもご紹介しますと、このヤドカリが好きな殻を CT スキャンというのをしています。でこれはレントゲンの3次元バージョンのようなものなんですけれど、この殻をですねこうレントゲンたくさん取っていくと 3D で中の情報も得ることができる。でそこからCG でこの貝殻を、この貝殻の上にビルディングをつけていく。でそこの部分は私が作っています。でその貝殻とビルディングが一緒になったものをバイオコンパティブルプラスチックで、出力をしています。これは 3D プリンターの一種なんですけれど、生き物に害がない素材を使って出力をしています。でこの、出力したものを与えるとですね、ヤドカリが、気に入れば引っ越しますし、気に入らなければ、ポイッと捨ててしまうという感じです。でかなりトライアンドエラーを繰り返しながら制作をしていたんですけれど、そのヤドカリが好む宿というのを作るために、このオーガニックな貝殻とあと無機的な、建物というのが合わさったデザインというのができていったというのがすごく私にとっては重要なポイントかなと思っています。ちょっとだけ早送りをして引っ越すところを見ていただきたいなと。本当は結構悩んだ末に引っ越すという感じですね。ちなみになんですけど、この、貝殻ちょっとだけ、自然の貝よりも、軽いので、そこもきっと気に入ってくれているポイントなのかなというふうに思いますし、引っ越した後ヤドカリがすごく速く走るようになったりするといったところもちょっとだけあったりします。そうですね、今こんな感じでお引っ越しで、生き物なのでこう、ちょっとケアがもちろん必要なんですが、万全の体制の時は、生態展示なども行っています。では次のプロジェクトいきたいと思います。セカンドプロジェクトです。こちらはシンクエボリューションというプロジェクトなんですけれど、タコとアンモナイトを出会わせるという作品です。でこちらのタコはですね、もちろん今も生きていますが、アンモナイトというのは、化石で見ることができて、もう絶滅してしまっている。でその絶滅したアンモナイトの化石を、CT スキャンを先ほども出てきましたが、それで解析して、でそこから私なりに復元した貝殻を作っています。でその殻をですね、タコに与えると、タコはもちろんその昔といいますか、祖先の記憶があるわけではないと思うんですが、この殻を結構使ってくれるというところがある。で彼女は実際に私があげた貝殻をすごく気に入ってくれていて、もう取ろうとするともうすごく抵抗してくる、塩を吹きかけて抵抗してくるようなところがありました。でこの、タコというのはもともと実は貝殻を持っていた。でそれを、捨ててしまったんですね、進化の過程で。でそういう意味ではすごく、人間に近いといいますか、人間も、毛皮を捨てて、このネイキッドな状態で生きてるんですけれど、タコもそういった部分があるのかなというふうに思います。でちょっとこう先祖返りをしているというふうにも見えますし、ミュータントというふうにも見えるのかなという作品です。ちなみにニューヨークのモマに収蔵されています。 こちらはビデオインスタレーションなんですけれど、スカルプチャーも作っています、同時に。でこちらがスカルプチャーで、この真ん中が化石で、それを、保管した部分は 3D プリンターで私が作っている、これはスタディの時の、スカルプチャーです。でこういった形で、復元をして先ほどのように、上げているんですが、これはリファレンスですけれど、アンモナイトというのが意外とどういう形だったかというのは分かっていなかったりする部分もあるので、これを参考にしながら作り上げています。でこんな感じの作品ですが、ちょっと次に行きたいと思います。貨幣の記憶という作品です。これが3つ目のプロジェクトなんですけれど、こちらはパールを素材にしています。でパールオイスターに核を入れて、で真珠を作るというプロジェクトです。でこちらは、例えばエリザベス2世ですけれど、私が作った、オブジェクト、小さなオブジェクトを中に入れて、で貝の中に入れる作業は養殖業者さんが行っている。でその後に海に戻します。で1年ほど育ててもらい、でその後引き上げるとこのようになっています。で、この貝殻というのはもちろん、真珠を養殖するために育てていますし、同時に食料でもあるので食べる、この貝を食べるというのもあって育てているんですけれど、こちらはなので養殖業者さんとのコラボレーションでもありつつ作っていただいているという形です。でこの、ポートレートなんですけれど、いくつかあるんですが、五大貨幣から、引用しています。こちらはジョージ・ワシントン、これはエリザベス2世、マオ・ツェドン、毛沢東です。福沢諭吉、こちらは日本の円の1万円札の肖像だった人です。これはカール・マルクスです。これもちょっとトリッキーなんですけれど、ユーロ札というのが0ユーロ札というのが実はあって、その時の肖像に使われていたことがあるのでカール・マルクスを採用しています。でこのようにちょっとその作った真珠をですね、海の中にこう沈めていくような映像も同時に撮っています。でこれは貨幣のシステムが変わっていくということに言及している作品だと思うんですけれど、今、我々というのはもともとは、日本円だったら日本の政府であったりとか、ポンドであったらイギリスであったりとか、そういった国の信用を担保にしていた貨幣制度というものから、変わっていくんじゃないかということを感じています。そこで、この、貝殻というのがもともと昔貨幣として使われていた時期があるんですけれど、その昔の貨幣と今の、この紙幣ですねを、ちょっとこう組み合わせるというか出会わせるようなものが、海の底に沈んでいく、で、化石となっていくのだろうかといったそういった作品になっています。でちょっとこれは余談でもあるんですけれど、実際この映像は私たちが、海の中に潜って撮影をしていまして、でその、南の島なんですけれど、種子島というところで撮影をしています。ですごく、ハードだったんですけど、こう頑張って素潜りで潜りながらデジタルカメラで撮っているという作品です。でそうですね、この、ちょっとこう人工物と自然物が組み合わさるようなところも、私の作品の特徴なのかなというふうにも思います。この以上の3つの作品を BACC で展示していますので、ぜひ見てください。ありがとうございます。
あきさんありがとうございました。それでは、山下小林さん2人。
はい、はじめまして。山下舞プラス小林直人という2人組で活動しております。主に活動は、自然の現象、現象であるとか、あとは動物であるとか植物であるとか、そういったコントロール不可能なもの、あるいはちょっと不確かなものと、関わっていることを仕事としています。で今回の、バンコクアートビエンナーレでは3点、その中から異なるプロジェクトを展示しています。でまず1点目、 この作品から説明します。アン&スカルプチャーという作品で、これは、まずインスタレーションビューなんですけれども、何をやったかといいますと、うちにアンという名前の、トイフォックステリア、小型犬なんですけれどもがいまして、でちょうどこの制作年2012年あたりで大体1歳ぐらいだったかなでして、ちょうど何でも噛むのが好きで、もうすごくおもちゃとか家具とか壊すのが大好きだったんですけれどもね、そこでちょうどその時期に興味を持っていたものとしてこういった博物館によくある壊れた彫刻が、こういった偶像破壊とかで、いろいろ事情があって壊れたものであるとか、あるいはこういった経年劣化で、海の中で壊れたりとか、そういったものですよね。こういったものっていうのが割とないことによって逆にその背景を知りたくなるとか、想像力をかきたてられるというのがあって、でそういったものって何かならないかなと思ったんですけれども、そこでそうですね、そこでやったことが、このアンの彫刻をまず僕らが木で木彫で作りまして、それをアンに与えてみました。でこれは柔らかめな木の彫刻なんですけれども、で基本的には人間が行う活動のことを、僕らが彫刻を彫った時点でおそらく完成とするのが普通だと思うんですけれども、でその人間のクリエーションを、クリエーションといって、これで今アンがやってる行動はどちらかというと破壊デストラクションになっちゃうと思うんですけれども、この作品に関して言うと、僕らとしては、僕らがやった彫る作業も彼女がやった壊す作業も全部含めてクリエーションだと思ってます。だから創造と破壊との間のちょっとボーダーが曖昧な作品です。結果こんな感じで柔らかくとかどうか、こんな感じでビフォーアフター見せるところなんですけれども、で次のプロジェクトは「A Spoon Made from the Land」という作品で、スプーンを作るプロジェクトです。これがインスタレーションビュー、これよそですけど、この砂山があります一番上にちょっと光ってるものがあると思うんですが、それが何かというと、この黒光りした、鉄製のスプーンなんですね。その鉄のスプーンを作ろうというプロジェクトです。でまずどうやって始めたかというと、この磁石で、砂鉄を集めるところからスタートしました。この作品のテーマは無から有を作る、何もないところから、何かを作るという作品なんですけれども、なのでまず、素材を買うわけではなく、砂鉄をまず大地から集めて、バケツ2つ分砂鉄を集めて、そこから、スプーン溶かしてスプーンにするんですけど、砂鉄というのは鉄だと思ってたんですけれども、そこでちょっと問題がありまして、砂鉄が実は酸化鉄なんですね。なのでまず酸素を奪わなくてはいけない、取り出さなくてはいけない。でそこで、いろいろ勉強しまして知ったのが、たたら製鉄と呼ばれる日本の古い刀鍛冶が行う技法なんですね。それでまず今これがやってるのがその再現なんですけれども、もうすでに廃れた技法なんですけど、そのたたら製鉄というやり方で、まず酸素を取り除き、それで鉄にし、そこから、スプーンを鋳造するという作品です。でこの作品の、コンセプトというか、思った背景としては、どうして人って地球から、素材をマテリアルを取り出して、それを何らか加工して化学反応を起こして、形を変えたりして、で最終的には人工物日用品を作って、それを最後ゴミとして捨ててしまうのかという、この一連のサイクルは一体何の意味があるんだろうというのがあって作りました。でこのようなスプーンを作りました。実際は結構作るの大変だったんですけどね。で次の作品が「インフィニティ・ミラージュ」という作品で、この作品は2021年にスタートして、今もオンゴーイングで続いてます。でもうここに書いてありますように、蜃気楼によって無限大の記号を作ろうとするプロジェクトです。 これがインスタレーションの一部なんですけれども、M に近い形の、看板ですね。それが大体幅14メーターあります。でそれと一緒にあるのがこのライブ配信の映像と、あと絵画ですね。でちょっと説明しますと、蜃気楼についてちょっと説明しますと、蜃気楼というのは、何もこうなんでしょうね、超常現象のような幻のようなものではなく、そう思われがちなんですけれども、実はこれはすごく科学的な自然現象でして、遠くにある風景がこう光、温度差のある空気の層を抜けていくときに、光が屈折するんですね。それによってこう遠くの風景が上にひっくり返ったり下にひっくり返ったりするのが蜃気楼と呼ばれるものでして、でそれを聞いて、思ったのが、これの場合はですね、船が分かりますかね、船が辺りで途中から上にひっくり返ってるんですね。で多分2回ひっくり返ってると思うんですね。なので空中に浮いてる船みたいになってるんですけれども、はい、でそれでちょっと思った作品が、このならばこの M 型の看板を、ここは富山湾といいまして、日本で蜃気楼がよく見えるところとして有名な場所なんですけれども、そこの、海岸護岸に、M 型の看板を取り付けました。でそれがひっくり返ったら無限大ができるんじゃなかろうかという目論見のもとにつけました。でそれからちょっと湾を、対岸ですね、湾の挟んで遠くの対岸の魚津市というところに、3000ミリの超望遠カメラを設置しまして、そこから24時間常にその蜃気楼の状態を配信し続けています。で約8キロですね、ここ8キロあるんですけれども、それぐらいないと蜃気楼って起きないので、そうですね。でこれが実際の映像なんですけれども、これが通常の蜃気楼が起きてない時の風景です。普通に M がただ映ってるだけで、これが若干下の方に映ってる状態、ちょっと惜しいところなんですね。階段の途中までのところで起きてるんですよね。でこれがいわゆるイメージしたやったっていう状態ですね。このようにだから日々、時間によっても季節によってもどんどん移り変わっていくんですよね、気象によって。まただから思ったようにはいかないんですけれども、だからこれをその奇跡を待ち続けるプロジェクトなんです。でこれが、春なんですけれども、春は上に伸びていくんです。上に伸びたり、あと上にひっくり返ったりする。でそれで、この作品は、YouTube で常にYouTube チャンネルありますので、インフィニティミラージュと検索していただければご覧いただけます。会場でももちろん上映してますけど、はい。で
そしてご自宅でもご覧いただけるプロジェクト
そうですね
になっています、インフィニティミラージュ。
じゃあいいですか。じゃあありがとうございました。少しだけ、時間があるので、maybe someone of you would like to ask some questions to each artist. Well, it's like in Japan, no one raise your hands. This is in Thailand. Yes, please.
ถามไหมคะมี1คำถาม
have to ask some question about the hermit crabs. Do you know how many species is nearly extinction in Japan about the hermit crabs? And also this, what is the effect of the climate change to the species? And did you have this continue this plan for next project about hermit crab also? It's 2 questions.
すいません、わからないという感じなんですけれど、はい、聞こえます。多分岡ヤドカリのことをおっしゃってるんだと思うんですけど、ランドハーミットクラブスのことをおっしゃってると思うんですが、確かに、天然記念物に指定されていて、とてもレアになっているという感じです。でただですね、かなり、保護活動も進んでいるので、今手にそうですね、見ることができないわけではないという状態かなと。でただもちろん絶滅していきどんどん減っているのは事実だと思いますし、あとただですね、もともとヤドカリすごく種類が多くて、すみません、何種類とちょっとはっきり答えられなくてお恥ずかしいんですけれど、ジュラ紀からいるので非常に種類が多い、特に海の中のヤドカリに関してはすごく種類が多いというのは、お伝えできる情報かなというふうに思います。で今後もヤドカリの作品は続けていくと思うんですけれど、という回答であってるでしょうか。
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone to Yamashita Kobayashi?
I'm very. My name is Naoto. I'm very interested on like the ant sculptures and also the marriage things. Like these things are combined with the natures and things like how you get such inspirations and how also like how because there is a lot of potential. Like an animal is disrupting and it can duplicate it into many things. Like how how it create like impact on people and make people feel the art by natures.
Okay. じゃあですね、主に君がまず答えたいいの？そう。まず主に、アイデアの発想源、日常的なほぼ日常観察から作品が始まってるんですけれども、その中で思ったちょっとした疑問点とか、割と常識全部捨てた上で、思って気づいたこととかそういったことをノートに常に書き留めてるのが僕の仕事なんですけれども、で僕がアイデアの元を大体作っていて、でその作品それをちゃんとしたなんだろうな、いくつかアイデアを組み合わせて作品にしたりするのがもう山下の仕事なんですけれども、で割と僕は壊れた彫刻とかそういったものに興味があるのはあって、でアンもそういったことを壊すのが大好きだったのは分かってて、そういった断片的なアイデアはいくつかあったんですけど、そういうのを組み合わせて、大体が常にアイデアは2つ3つが組み合わさって、その時の状況を確かそのプランを持った時はまだ犬飼ってなかったんですよね。で案を迎えてからそれが実現したんですけれども、なんかそういったことがよくありますね。いくつか条件が揃った時に作品がリアライズするっていうことです。
じゃあ私も答えますが、はい、ヤドカリに関しては結構ヤドというヤドカリという言葉から発想している部分が多いかなと思います。ヤドというのが仮住まいの家みたいな意味で、仮というのがボローイングというか、借りているなので、その、仮住まっているという、言葉、その日本語のヤドカリというのが、その言葉からインスパイアされている部分があるのかなと。でミノムシについても結構同様で、ミノというのがレインコートで、虫というのがインセクトっていう意味なんですけれど、その、レインコート虫というか、そこから、この先ほどのは女性のクローズを渡しているっていう作品なんですけれど、お洋服の端切れをミノムシに与えてみたりとかっていうふうに、割と日本語の、言葉の語源というかから発想を得ている部分が私は割と多いかなというふうに思っています。 もちろんそれだけではなくて、日本の、生き物に対する視線であるとか、小さな生き物に特に私はとても愛着を覚えることが多いんですけれど、それは本当に一寸の虫にも五分の魂ということわざが日本語にはあるんですが、その小さな生き物たちも、とても大切な我々の、共に生きている者たちだという、思想が根底にあるのかなというふうに思っていて、そういったところを、人間中心主義的ではない世界観というのを、今後作っていけないかということを私は考えていると思います。
ありがとうございました。じゃあ最後の質問でお二人、にお答えいただきたいんですが、今回のタイトルの「Nurture Gaia」という、この、テーマとご自身との作品との関係性ということでお一人ずつお願いします。
今回3つの作品を展示してまして、それが無限蜃気楼によって無限がこう出たり消えたり、で犬がこう彫刻を噛んで破壊したりとか、あとは、地面からこうスプーンが生まれたりとか、全体的にこう形が立ち上がったり消えていったり、そういう作品が多くて、全て変化にこう焦点を当てているような作品3作品が並んでいると思います。でその変化っていうのは今回の、テーマの「ナーチャーガイア」のガイアが、地球が一つのこう生命体と見るんであれば、そういった移り変わりみたいな、例えば自然破壊だったりとか温暖化みたいなこともこう循環の一つとして捉えることができるような気がしていて、そういうことを私たちは常にこう観察というかこうであるべきってことはちょっと作品においては提示しないんですけれども、常にこう観察する姿勢で捉えていて、で今回の展示空間っていうのもそういうちょっといろんなもの、特に蜃気楼が特にゆらゆらしてるんですけど、そういったものをこう椅子も置いているので、ちょっとこう観察というかちょっと空間に身を置いて循環の中に身を置いて、ちょっとこうもし人間がこう何か破壊をしているんだとしたら、それは一体どういった意味があるんだろうといったことをこう考えるような、ちょっと座ってそういうことの思いを巡らせるような空間にしているつもりなので、ちょっとそうですね、忙しいと思うんですけど、ビエンナーレいろんな作品がいっぱいあるので、なかなかこう時間を置いて見ることはできないと思うんですけど、ちょっと眺めていただけたらなと、
ぼんやりと
そうですね、考えるいただけたらなと思っています。
人間ではない生き物との、コミュニケーションというのが、この3つの作品もそうですし、それ以外でも根底しているのかなと思います。何かこう、ヤドカリだと、シェルターであったりとか、そうですね、何か物を介して、もしくはデジタルテクノロジーを使ってコミュニケートを試みる。でその根底には先ほども言ったような、多種の生き物と共に生きていくということであったりとか、他の生き物、人間以外の生き物が持っている、クリエイティビティの凄さであったりとか、そういったものに対する尊敬というのが、根底にあると思うんです。でそれによって、やっぱり人を中心にした世界観ではない世界観を考えていきたい、そういったことを、このネイチャーガイアに通しても私は考えていると思います。
Okay, thank you very much. So, well, this is the end of part 1, and I hope you have chance to go to visit BACC to see their works. And now, I would like to invite the artist for part 2. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Very fascinating. So the work of AKI INOMATA-san and Mai Yamashita and Naoto Kobayashi will be at BACC. Next, we have 4 more artists to join on our second part of this talk session. Okay, may I invite Bagus Pandega and Kei Masu and Ari Bayuaji and Amanda Heng. This session will be in English. Okay. เซสชันนี้จะดำเนินรายการเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะคะ Okay. I give you take the stage.
Waiting, the magnificent party, right, is waiting for us afterwards. So we try to be on time. So I would like to start right away. Part 2, we have more artists now with Ari Bayuaji right next to me, and Amanda Hen next, and Bagos Pantega and Kei Imas. They are from Indonesia. Well, they are from Japan, but now they are based in Indonesia, both of them. Amanda is from Singapore, and Ari is Canada and Indonesia, Bali. Okay, yes. So we are doing the same way that each of them will be speaking about their works. I would like to just introduce Ari first. Ari studied civil engineering in Indonesia, but later studied art in Canada. So he refers some mythological creatures that signify the need to keep doing good things by nurturing nature and culture for a peaceful and prosperous life in Bali. And I think in his works, nature and cultures are beautifully interwoven. So, and then also he has studied the project, Weaving Ocean project during the COVID period. And maybe Ari, you can start talking about a little bit about your work.
Thank you very much for being here. I'm very happy to be part of Bangkok Art Biennale 2024. Ari Bayuaji. I can talk first while we are waiting. So as Miki-san introduced to me earlier, my background is a civil engineer when I was in Indonesia. But I decided to study fine art in Montreal, Canada. So this is a little story about my mom. When I told her that I was going to study art, the first thing she said actually, make sure that with your new career, it can give like a direct impact to others. The same as how teachers, doctors or engineers usually do for their community. So yeah, it was not easy task. So during my study, my art study, of course, I forgot what my mom told me. But yeah, because it was kind of I was always in surviving mood to study art and to be a new artist. This is interesting to be at Bangkok Art Biennale with the theme of Nurture Gaia, because I interpret Nurture Gaia is the action of love. You know, it's like mother, how we care about things around us, how we care about our nature, basically. Oh, good. So yeah, so the project of weaving the ocean started when I stuck in Bali at the beginning of pandemic until the end. So I could not fly back to Canada, so I decided to stay in Bali. And then, because nothing to do, so I decided to just spend my time on the beach. And then I clean the beach every day, so many plastic ropes and also ghost nets. And then, because so many people lost the job in Bali during the pandemic, some people started to come to me asking if they could help me they could help to clean the beach. But again, they wanted to have something as return. They want, yeah, so they need something to survive. So with the help of my friends and family, we give them like a little bit of money, cooking oil, rice and eggs, so they could clean the beach together. So at the beginning, I had no idea what I was going to do with this, because like so many of them, we collected so many of them, but at the same time, I could see the potential. I did some paintings before, I worked with many different materials before, so I could see the potential of the plastic threads, because it's reminded me of the cotton threads or also the silk threads. So and then it was so many different colors. So just to fill the time and to keep everybody working, we decided to separate the plastic threads based on the colors, based on the texture, and then we unravel it by hand one by one. So this is like how our ancestors long time ago treated the natural materials. It was like bamboo, wood, or even sandstone. We just like handle them with love. We unravel it slowly, and then again, I still didn't know what to do with it. I just saw how beautiful the artworks. And then I met one weaver in Sanur, Bali, and then we talked about it. It was almost impossible to weave it. Fortunately, I have an engineering background, so I work together with the weaver, only one weaver. So we have to choose what kind of plastic threads we could process. And then I invented how to create knots, because the plastic ropes we found is not that long. So we had to create knots, like really fine knots, that it's small enough and then also strong enough to run in the shuttle of the weaving loom. And I had to adjust also the loom, so that it's not going too fast. Otherwise, it would cut the cotton threads, because we mix the plastic threads with cotton threads. Yes, and then I think like the plastic pollution is a big problem, especially in our ocean. And then I love the materials, and that as an artist, I'm very happy that I give little bit of contribution, like how to handle this plastic threads or plastic pollution. I'm happy to invent something new that can be good for the community and also for the art. For the artwork at Bangkok Biennale, I created the sculptures of Rangda, some sculpture for Rangda, because it's necessary, because during the pandemic, a lot of policemen at the beginning using the mask of Rangda to inform people in Bali how dangerous COVID virus was, because people didn't understand it. It was very difficult to explain how, in a scientific language, how dangerous the virus was. So the policemen in Bali went to some different public spaces like traditional markets, banjar or villages, wearing this mask to inform people this is dangerous. For the Balinese, it's easy to understand, because the story of Rangda, it was started in the 10th century in Java, how the Rangda actually created a pandemic. It was in 10th century in Java. So until now, the Balinese still using this sculpture every 6 months in the very important ceremonies, Odalan. just to show people that if we are not nice, if we are have a coalition with the bad spirits, Rangda will come and create a disaster. Could be natural disaster, could be disaster by others, made by others. So yeah, I created this with the plastic threads that we can use to for the weaving materials. So we're using it for 3D sculptures, so that we don't have to throw many waste. So thank you very much. I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So let's move on to Amanda. Amanda Hen is a pioneering contemporary artist, one of the very first in Singapore to explore feminist issues in her works. And her performance and installation works drew attention to aspects of the lives of women using everyday activities like walking, just drinking coffee, or peeling bean sprouts to get people to reflect on issues such as gender inequality, family relationships, and communication in the contemporary world. So, Amanda, please explain a little bit about your works.
Thank you, Akiko-san. This is not the first one. First one? Yeah. Wait a minute. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure and an honor to come here, to be here with, to be part of the Bangkok Biennale. And I would like to share, maybe with the slide, just to share with you a little bit briefly how my work or my practice evolved and then developed. And also later on address to the questions of the Nurture Gaia. Yeah. In fact, I see human being as part of the nature, and we're just part of the nature, like the little creature, like the tree, or like any other things that, living things that in the nature. Yeah, and being a woman is also part of the nature. And Gasha to me involved continuity, making connections, sharing and caring. Yeah. So now I begin with these very early work. I wanted to show them here, and some of the works were actually being exhibited here before, long time ago, maybe 30 years ago. So Shihi was one of the very early performance that I had, and you probably noticed that from this work, you know, there were quite a bit of influence from a theater performance. You know, you're concerned with makeup, you're concerned with kind of costume, sounds, and so on. Yeah, and this is a work that deals with the Chinese traditions and the relations with how women were being positioned in that culture. Yeah. Next, please. The second slide is called Narrating Body. And I think some of you in the audience might be familiar with this piece. It was presented in the APT, which is Asia Pacific Triennial in Queensland, Australia. Yeah. It was in 1999, and it was in the midst of a project, a collaboration that I had been doing with my mom, and it was a continuation. It became a kind of ongoing collaboration with my mom, and this was the kind of development from the first project, which I will come to that later. Yeah. So this performance, then you see some changes, because now with performance work, I realized that you deal a lot with the body and in a real space and real time with your audience. And now, in this case, the body becomes the artwork, the artist becomes the artwork, and the experience becomes the artwork, not just the object. Yeah. So next, please. Yeah, so now we come to this very important project, a collaboration that I had with my mother started from as early as 1995, and there were some issues in terms of the relationship with me and my mother because of some difficulties in communications. Mom only speaks in dialect. She hasn't got the chance of having education. And I was very difficult with dialects because we didn't have, the society doesn't encourage the speakings of dialects and making English as our main language for communications. Yeah. So I was desperately trying to find a way to connect with her. Yeah, and so when I started, I've been kind of working in the society for more than 10 years, and then realized that office work is definitely not my life. So then go on to switch on to become an artist. So my mom could not accept this idea, and so I thought the best way to get her to understand how important it is for me to create art and find my own language. Yeah, so this is how it all began. So we kind of really got together, and then I started to pay a lot of attention to her everyday life, see how she go about her everyday life and little things that she makes and so on. Like, for example, her cooking and her sewing. She takes care of all our kind of sewing as kids. So this was how the project began. And at the same time, in the year of, I think, around that time, she was in the 70s. And for Chinese traditions, when you come to an old age, you begin to think about the end of your life. And usually we'll make a portrait to prepare ourselves. So Mom came to me and asked to make a portrait. So we got together and then make that portrait. And then that's how I then suggest to her that after making this portrait, shall we do some more? Yeah, so then we continue with making a lot more other portraiture images like this. And this is what we see kind of in the beginning in 1995 to 1997. It's kind of continuous. Thank you, next. So after making, in 1997, the Singapore Art Museums opens at the new premises that was transformed from a school into a new contemporary art space. And I was invited to present the work there. It was, you know, such a luxury to have this space to present my work. So what you see now is the installation piece of all those portraiture photos, as well as the objects that we make together at home. So what you see, objects like that actually come from home and a lot of story behind. I remember whenever we ask, we buy new things for my mother, she would say that I have no space for new things. So this statement says a lot to me. And then I suggested to her, let's check into the cupboard and take all the stuff out. And I found that they are all things like old clothing that we've been wearing before, lunch boxes, water bottles, where you used to go to school with. And so I suggested that why don't we take those objects out and let's do something about that. So while we play with those objects, and then she shared all the story from her memories about her children, each and every one of us, how we grow up with those objects. So those were oral history to me in my family story. Yeah, and they were very important. So I wanted to have them recorded. So this is the way I document our family history, as well as how I make the efforts to connect with my mother. Yeah. So now the work has been kind of presented and then reconfigured depending on the site. So what I use is together with the objects, the space, and the portraiture photo works to create different kind of, through my imagination, different kind of living room setup. Yeah. Next, please. So this, what you see now is also another reconfigurations, and this happened in Bangkok. That was in 1997, the first Women Manifesto. I have the honor of making a lot of artist friends in Bangkok at that time. Those were the early days. And then there was this festivals for women artists, and this is how the installation then was installed at the concrete house at that point of time. So working in Bangkok was a different site and also a different cultural space. So when I came to Bangkok, I realized that in a street or in a market, there was lots of rice noodles they were selling. We're quite familiar with rice noodles in Singapore or in Chinese culture. So I saw them selling that, and it always remind me of how my mom would complain that I hate rice noodle, because as a young girl, the family make rice noodles to sell. So that was not a very pleasant memories for her, hard work, and that also take away her childhood life. Yeah. So I used this rice noodles to create a kind of installation just to remember this story and also her life. Yeah. And then I found that while I was using that material, it was all wet and oily. And after a few days, it became dry, and then it became to kind of crack, become stiff, and then it start to change shape. So I have actually photos of my mom, the portrait of my mom, underneath layers of this kway, and then slowly this, when the material changed or become dry, the portrait began to show. Next, please. Thanks. And a whole series of photography work was presented at the Fukuoka Triennale in 1999 for the first time. And this was all the work that, not all the work, but at least a number of works that were put together like this. So it was the first time I realized that photography work, when I was making it, it was meant to be a documentation, but now became a kind of impactful family story, as well as also a very strong statement about how this mother and daughter relationship developed. Next, please. And the convenience of having this portraiture works, I also discover as it goes on to other, to be exhibited in other spaces, and also keep being kind of reconfigured in different ways depending on the site. And also I sometimes incorporated with text to create, to continue with this conversation about the relationship. Yeah, so this is what we see in Singapore, in Tokyo, as well as Naoshima, I think. Yeah, thank you. Next, please. Yeah, so collaboration with mothers continue, and what you see now is another work that is as a result of that. That is called Let's Chat. Now, in the 80s, we used to live in a kampong house, which is called a village. And because of urbanizations, you're given the notice, a lot of us, or the Singaporean, you're given the notice to move your house, move away, so that the space can be built, can be used to build the HDB flats, which is the government flats. Yeah. So now, for us who are so used to villagers' life, suddenly we're put into a four-wall flat. That is a drastic change, a very dramatic change of our lifestyle. And for younger people like us, we will have continuations or continuity of working life and schools, friendships, and so on. As for mom, her only network, her only connections with the village, the people of the village, is disappeared. So she has to kind of quickly reconnect herself in this very new environment. Yeah, so when I started paying attention to her life, I realized that every morning she will be sitting with some of the neighbor aunties like this, having tea, or sometimes doing chores like plucking tauge or treating vegetables for lunch and things like that. So that's her way of reconnecting with or recreating network within her a very strange environment. Yeah. So for them in those days, for her, I was really impressed how she made the effort, and quite easily she kind of formed this network together. And of course also I begin to notice that now in our contemporary life, if you travel in a train, you see the whole family was going out to have outing, but everyone in the family members were having handphones and glued to the screen. And this is going for a family outing. Yeah, so how communication in our life has changed. That brings me back to the memories in the village, where all of us as kids were mobile and asked to come around together, sit on the table, and then start helping with the domestic chores. And during doing these domestic chores that is so boring, we will start creating jokes or gossiping about neighbors and or fighting with each other on the table. And unconsciously, these forms of activities begin to appear or to bond. It keeps us informed of each other's personalities, characters, or your life, what's going on with your girlfriends or boyfriends and things like that. Yeah, so the forms of communication has changed dramatically. Yeah, so Let's Chat was the result of that idea, and I wanted to bring it back to the contemporary life, not for the sheer of just being nostalgic, but rather to talk about how communication is an important way of bonding and making connection. No matter how advanced technology you have, this person-to-person, face-to-face connection, it's still necessary for human being. So that's my point for this work. Thanks, Nick. So, yeah, we have to go quickly. Please, next one. This is Let's Chat in other setup in Fukuoka. Please. Let's Chat has traveled kind of all over quite a bit. And here you see in Rangoon, in Seoul, in Singapore, as well as Bangkok at Bangkok Art Center. Yeah. So next, I think I'll skip this one and come to Naoshima. Please, go on. Next. Yeah. I wanted to come to talk about this work. Thanks to Akiko-san for bringing, creating this project in Naoshima to present the works of all the artists that's given the award by Benase. Yeah, so what happens was it actually happened before the pandemic, so it's been delayed. And then by 2002, 2003, we started to, work on this project again. And another woman's got the opportunity to be extended as it was an ongoing thing. So I got the opportunity to put all the portraiture together that includes the 3 different periods. 1996, 2014, where mom's, it was the first time mom was diagnosed with dementia. And of course, then the approach to taking care of her has changed, and understanding her kind of health condition and how to cater to her needs has all changed. And then obviously it shows some difference when you look at the work. Yeah, so this is what we presented in Naoshima, and it's ongoing now until next year March. So if you have the chance to visit Naoshima, please check it out. Thanks. So now we, as a result of Naoshima project, and again with Kiko-san's invitation, I'm here today. And this is what you see at the Bangkok Art Center. Thank you. Sorry about the short term.
Well,
Hello, I'm Bagus, and this is Kay. We are living in Bandung, Indonesia. We are really honored to be invited and joining the Bangkok Biennale 2024. So this is our project we are currently running. It's been an ongoing project since 2019, and then this is already the 4th version we're showing. The title is Artificial Green by Nature Green version 4. Next. This is the work we presented at the BACC. It's like it's a painting machine connected with a palm oil tree, and then on the top side there's a LED showing colors of green and smokes. It's also controlled by the palm oil, giving signal to the installation. Next, so around this topic is about palm oil and how crucial palm oil is to Indonesia economy. Indonesia is the world's largest producer and consumer. Indonesia supplies near half of the global palm oil. This commodity has generated significant income through the domestic use and also the exports. However, palm oil production has faced criticism due to environmental impact. Deforestation, primarily for palm oil plantations, has led to significant loss of the forest cover and biodiversity. Additionally, forest fire is often associated with land clearing for plantation, have contributed to air pollution and also climate change. Next. So we can see like this is the left side is the left side is the original original rainforest, and then the right side is already artificial palm oil plantation. The left side we have a diversity of the rainforest, including the plants, the animal, the insects, and the soil. Also, actually, the palm oil plantation quite changed a lot the structure of the soil in the rainforest.
No animals, no plants cannot survive in the palm oil plantation. So only rainforest allowed to have diversities.
Because like palm oil is actually like egoistic plants that they need like a diameter of 9 meters. And then they get all the nutrients from the soil. Next, this is the structure of the palm.
Yeah,
plant.
actually, from far, it's just nature green. So it's part of nature. It's beautiful. What's wrong? But inside of this forest, palm oil plantation, no one cannot survive. So doesn't give anything to animals or.
Yeah. Next. Yeah. These are several endangered species, threatened. Mostly like the orangutan, if they go inside the palm oil plantation, they are part of the pest of that plantation, so they always, yeah, they have to go out from the plantation. Next. And also this is caused by the forest burning. It's in Riau province. And because of the smoke, it covers all the city with haze, and then even the sunlight cannot pass and creates a really orange filter to our eyes.
Because to cut rainforest, some people use just fire and they make so many color, sky turns color red.
Yeah. Next. Yeah, this is the effect of the burning of the forests. Next, this is how all the palm oil around Indonesia is almost all the main island in Indonesia is already developed as a palm oil plantation. Yeah, even like Malaysia and Thailand. But actually the source of the nowadays palm oil plantation is sourced from the Bogor. It was a development project by the VOC that time. They import from Africa and then found that it grows really, really well in the equator region. And then from there, the mother of the palm oil plant was in Bogor, and then it spread now, become everywhere around this region. Okay. Next. Yeah, this is the product.
This is palm.
Yeah, this is the fruits, palm fruits. It's really, really red, really, really oily. Next. Yeah.
So palm oil is everywhere. Actually, no one can avoid palm oil. Must on your body. There is palm oil product, like skincare, food,
Chocolate.
So.
Yeah, cheese. Yeah, everything. Yeah. Next, so this is the work we're doing. The underpainting is by her. She made the underpainting with using water-based paint. Next one. This is the first image generated by the machine. Is the animals inside the inside the rainforest. Next, this is the palm oil tree. Yeah. Next, this is the palm oil product.
Not to paint yet.
Next, this is the palm oil plantation. So it's the machine is going to paint for several days to complete all this painting, and then the end of the process is going to be like this. And at the end, can you play this video? Yeah, video. Next. Sorry, next, yeah.
Oh, if you cannot play, it's okay.
It's possible to play. It's a video.
Yeah, no, it's okay, no need. ダメだ. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, just next.
Yeah, so this, yeah, so at the end of the process, you're going to be like a composition of 5 days painting of the machine, and after that, there's going to be another machine that's gonna erase all the painting made, and it's connected with the palm oil, so it gives it's connected to the palm tree at the space. The palm tree is gonna give like a signals to the machine to erase the painting, so it's gonna be like a cycle of process of creating and erasing, and it's connected by nature.
Yeah, so our work is like palm oil plantation deforestation and image generation, and like a cycle of image and disappear.
Yeah.
So also we want to show is the nature is everything is not that's the illusion. Every plants are wonderful. So in Indonesia, I was surprised that palm oil is nature, part of nature, but it's like in Indonesia, like a ghost, like a robot, because they never hold people. I want to show in this artwork some difference of kind of greens, so nature.
Yeah, I think we'll try to make everything pack and quick for the presentation. Thank you very much.
So you mean the original one is sago palms?
And we have also sago palms in the Papua, and then for the Papua people, now it's also growing the palm oil plantation in Papua. The last resort we have for the rainforest, the biggest rainforest we have, and for them, for the local Papua people, it's alien palm oil. Yeah, sago is their local food, main food, but the palm oil food they cannot get anything from inside it. It's alienated palm tree. Actually, they're like they have relationship as a tree, as a plant, yeah, but they're just really different.
Okay, thank you. It's apparently, thank you very much. Well, I was told due to the heavy rains, we can extend a little bit by waiting the rain stops. So maybe we can have a couple of questions to each artist if you have. No?
Yes, we
yes,
have.
Please.
Thank you. Very interesting talks all round. I've got a specific question about the palm oil. How is the signal going to your painting machine? What is the physical sort of technological process of how that signal, and where is it coming from? I've understand this kind of thing from wave machines or heights of tides and things like this. What is the signal that's going to your machine?
The signal is coming from actually it's a synthesizer. It's like a modular synthesizer built by a company. The name is Sion, from a company from Scotland. It was an open source project, but that company made it into a more compact device, and it gets the name is biofeedback from the plants, and it generates signals from the plants to. Actually, it's a music tool for making sound, but in this installation, I tried to modify the function of the synthesizer, becoming for mechanical installation and control the painting. I did quite much modification with the device.
But in any case, it is the life of palm tree.
Yeah, and it's a live palm tree.
Yeah, which is transferred to the, how can I say, machine, erasing the image, right?
So one time we exhibit in Yogyakarta, it was like an indoor space. The palm tree actually died 3 times because it was really hungry with the, what is it called, sunlight and sunshine. So it was, they're not available, it's not possible for the palm tree to survive inside the indoor space. So actually, it's interesting when the palm oil was dead, the painting machine stops. So it's really like dependent on you have to make sure it keeps living inside the space.
Yeah, it's just a background story that it wasn't very easy to find the right space for their works, because we need some light coming in, but at the same time, not too much. So, so far, it is working. So, but we have to see how it goes.
We also included like artificial LED sunlight in the space, a grow light.
Any other questions? Please.
Thank you for your talks. Ari, I was interested to know whether the weaving technology that you've developed and left in Bali, is that still being used by some of those local communities, or indeed some of the techniques that you've developed in the making of the regalia, the costume?
Thank you for the question. Actually, I'm using the old traditional weaving loom, and it's still being used everywhere. But the only thing that the plastic thread is quite strong as a weft, and the warp is we are still using cotton threads. So we have to adjust. I had to adjust the shuttle, so not going too fast from the left to the right, because if it goes too fast, the knots to connect the threads could stuck in a shuttle, and also cutting lots of the cotton threads, because the cotton threads are very, very fine, a lot finer than the plastic threads. But again, it's like to me, it's still very important to use the traditional Balinese weaving loom, because it's kind of dying culture in Bali. So my idea is like how to make weaving cool again. Even like, so until now, I still have like a one weaving assistant, because we have to do it like together very often. So like the simple weaving, she can do it alone when I'm traveling like now. But for some more complicated using the plastic cords, I have to work side by her, yeah. But yeah, so in the future, until now we are still working on this project. So it doesn't matter if I exhibition or not, we are still working on this, because we have like more and more people involved in this, so we keep investing how to continue this project. Yeah, thank you.
One more question? I mean, we can have more and more questions.
Hello. Thank you for all the three speakers. Fascinating process. My question is to the palm oil tree painting project. Maybe I did not follow much on the eraser process that you mentioned. Was it going to be a kind of on reverse from the painting, or just like painted over? That's my question. Thanks.
It's not gonna be reversed. It's just gonna be erased and then painting over again. So it's at the end of the results, it's gonna be something unexpected. So it keeps going until like 4 months, and then we're looking forward for the final presentation of the painting also. Yeah.
The erasing process is biofeedback from real palm oil tree we put. Yeah. So start will be 5 days later.
And it's gonna drip water directly to the canvas, and then there's a brush controlled by the palm tree. It's gonna erase the painting. Yeah.
Any other questions? Is it okay?
Hi, Amanda. I have a question about like mother-daughter relationship or family history, because in your talk just now, many exhibitions, some of them were like 20 years ago in different parts of the world. Do you see these days something changing? Maybe in Singapore or some countries, your artworks have been exhibited. Because I'm from China, I feel like in mainland China now, one thing women deal with is their original family, and in many times it's the relationship with their mothers, because they are different. Like the younger generation, like me, we are very different from our moms. So just be curious about what some new trends directions you've been noticed since the time you created your art pieces? Thank you.
Yes, the changes are subtle. I think developing the relationship is not like the machine, one click or one switch, you can change the thing. I think human nature, it takes time to develop. It takes time to notice, to allow each other to pay attention. So, yeah, I think it takes a commitment to build a relationship, not only just for mother and daughter, any kind of relationship or friendship. Yeah. With my project, over the 30 years development, at first there were awkward moments, and then of course there were also tension. There were also certain moving moments. Yeah. But as it goes on, for example, when I was invited to Bangkok for the first time for the Women Manifesto 1, I told my mom that I'm going to bring the photos for exhibitions in Bangkok, and but I do not have money to fly over. So I was surprised she actually volunteers to pay for the flight. So she said, let's go together and I'll buy you the tickets. And at the same time, we go and visit my brother and sister in Thailand. I have a brother and sister living here for many years now. Yeah, so that's how I see she changed, how she began to, I wouldn't say that we can begin to talk about art, you know, but I could see that she began to understand something that's very important for me to do. Yeah, and that was the sign of it. And it was the first time she came for my exhibitions and the opening. Yeah, and then as it goes on the 2014, when I presented the second photos, she was diagnosed with dementia. So the relationship is obviously has to kind of change. The way I take care of her has to change. The first thing is that I don't even understand what dementia is about and how it will affect her, and I have to start learning about that, reading up, talking a lot to the doctor to understand her change, how it would happen to her, yeah, and how do we cater to her needs from then on, yeah. So most difficult and demanding were in the last project in 2023, where she became very critical. Her condition became very critical after some strokes. And in the end, there were also nothing we can do from the medical opinion, that nothing else we can do for her, yeah. So it was very emotionally draining then, because you feel so helpless, seeing that she was in pain and then we can't do anything to help. Yeah, so I realized that at that point of time, the only thing that you can do for her is to be with her, to let her know physically that her loved one is around, so that you know, she can be relaxed and comfortable. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. I think rain has just stopped. So, you have another question? Okay, just this is the last one. Okay.
ผมขอแปลภาษาอังกฤษนะครับ
ได้ค่ะ
ครับจะถามคิวเรเตอร์ครับ
โอ
อา
เค
กิโกะ
โอเค
ว่าไอ้ธีมรักษากายามันดูจะกว้างมากเพราะอะไรก็เป็นธรรมชาติ ถ้าเกิดธีมมันเปลี่ยนให้แคบลงคิดว่ามันจะมีผลกระทบหลายอย่างไหมครับ
Okay, so this is the question for Akiko-san as a curator. He asked that the theme Nurture Gaia is a very broad, theme. So if if the theme were to change into something more narrow, would it affect your curation of this? Like if this theme, because like Nurture Gaia is about like nature, right? So it's a very broad like theme. So if the theme is not about nature or something narrow down, would this affect your curation process? Correct me,คะถูกไหมคะ?
Yeah, it is possible, but the one reason I really enjoyed working for this time's biennial with this specific theme is that, as I said, it is really broad and it can be interpreted in different ways. So, and actually, this is what I was going to conclude, that I heard that in Thai language, this Nurture Gaia can be understood, like, there is some possibilities of playing words, and it can be understood as a healing body. And that's what I have heard from Thai colleague. So, so then I was thinking about their works, like, Ari's work is something to do with recovering from the COVID, somehow. And Amanda's work is about resolving tensions with her mother, right? And the BAB case is about restoring the rainforest. So, it's, so now we are all facing, the variety of challenges. So it seems to me that Nurture Gaia, may be the key to recovering, resolving, restoring, or maybe renewing, our attitude or our consciousness, and renewing, revitalizing the world. So it may be the key. So it is true, to answer to your question, it may have been different if it is much narrower. And of course, I may have enjoyed, working with the narrower concept. But at the same time, this time, I really enjoyed with this such a variety of possibility of interpreting the concept. Okay. Well, thank you very much for all the artists, and thank you very much for all of you joining us today.
Thank you for Akiko Miki-san and all the artists for sharing your thoughts and your ideas and concept behind your works. Very fascinating. So unfortunately, because it's just rain, so we couldn't have the event outdoor. So our team is setting up the event in the grand ballroom. But right now, when we finish, when we leave this room, we invite you all to have one drink at W Lounge. So please proceed straight to the lounge and get your one free drink. Okay,ค่ะ. Yay.